27, sun, surf, and hockey, really, as far as the eye can see. Nazem Kadri, thanks for joining us here. Obviously, not too bad of a place to hold an NHL All-Star game. How's the weekend going for you and the family?
Yeah, it's been great so far, as you mentioned. We, luckily to get some great weather and, posted up right on the beach here. So, that's definitely ideal.
So it's not just you. We see it, obviously, going in and out of the hotel, all the All-Stars here, but it's a family event. You've got your wife and your kid here. I mean, what's the experience like to be able to not just be a part of it from a professional perspective, but to be able to share it with your family as well?
Well, I think that means more, just kind of having that experience of sharing it with, the people who've supported you through your whole career. So, that's always a nice incentive. And, when it's in a beautiful state like Florida, I think, everyone's easy to, ask for a couple tickets. So it's nice to have everybody down here.
Awesome. So, I could throw hockey questions at you all day, but we do that for 9 months of the year. So we reached out to a few fans on Twitter, got their input. So got a few we want to throw at you. So we'll start with Noah, and he asks, who's the toughest player you have ever had to face in your career?
Toughest. This could go both ways, because toughest meaning like toughest to defend, or toughest as in take a punch toughest.
Let's go with the first one.
I always thought, I was a big fan of Pavel Datsyuk, and tried to model a little bit of my game towards his, but he was always a guy that he just was so unpredictable and could never tell what the guy was going to do, and his skill was through the roof, so very hard to defend.
Awesome. This one I really like. It's from Ollie, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, but who is the most underrated teammate you've ever played with, past or present?
Underrated? You should have gave me these last night. I could have thought about them and put some thought into it. I think, there's so many guys that I've played with, but, I think JVR could be one of those in contention. Scored 40 goals in Toronto, played with him. He was one of the best players in front of the net that I've ever seen. So I'll give him a little bit of love on this one. Good friend of mine too, so he can have that one.
Love it. This is, we're at the All-Star game, so it's about celebrating what you've been able to accomplish in your career, but I think everybody loves a story of adversity, and everybody goes through their own. So this one comes from Veer, and you can take this in whichever direction you choose, but what were some of maybe the bigger challenges you had to face en route to becoming an NHL player?
The competition out there is, something that hockey's very, diluted, in the sense that everybody wants to play, and there's so many players coming from around the world to play. So, being ready to play on, the biggest stages at that point in my career. You got 30, 40 scouts in the building. You better be ready to put on the best show you can. So, you always want to create that buzz around you and that hype, and it was certainly a challenge to do that.
All right, great. I love that answer. Cody asks, this one you might be able to think off the top of your head, but who's the funniest guy in the Flames locker room?
Funniest guy? Yeah, we got a few characters actually.
We do.
I like Man's sense of humor. Marky's sense of humor is really growing on me. Z's up there. He talks a little too much sometimes, though. So, between the three of those guys, I'd have to go with one of them.
Speaking of Marky, did you see the Instagram video of him singing "Ring of Fire" the other night? Because that was not too bad.
Was it up there?
You gotta check that out.
I'm gonna have to look that up for sure. That sounds like Marky. I don't know if he's got a great voice or not. But
you know what? Better than I expected.
Does he? Yeah. I'm gonna have
soulful.
Maybe we'll have to get him to sing the anthem one day before a game or something.
Moving on, we got Max. He asks, if you could play on a line with anyone in history, who would it be?
In history? So many guys. Wayne and Mario are easy guys to say, I feel like, but I'll go with somebody else. I think I was a big Paul Kariya fan growing up, and always admired the way he played, and he was one of my favorite players too. So I'll go with him.
Were you a Mighty Ducks movie fan, franchise fan at that point?
Of course. How can you not be? Any kid that was growing up played hockey, watch that movie. So it's international film.
It's great. You see that logo. It's automatic association to Paul Kariya as well. So moving along, I like this one too. Kind of fitting that we're on the beach here in Fort Lauderdale, but Antonio is wondering what your favorite place to travel to in the off season is.
Favorite place to travel? I love Florida. I got some ties in Florida, so that's always somewhere that's fun to come to. But I like traveling to Europe too. I know it's a bit of a it's a little time consuming and a bit of a battle in terms of lugging everybody with you, but and it's far away. But once you get over to those European countries, I just feel like the culture is so beautiful, and the scenery is amazing too. So anywhere in Europe, really.
Yeah, awesome. Just a couple more for you, and these ones are a little bit more off the wall, I suppose. But Diane is wondering what your go-to coffee order is.
Go-to coffee order, usually like a latte, or if I want to get real spicy with it, I'll go like caramel macchiato. Throw an extra shot in there or something. Just it depends on the type of day I'm having.
Yep.
But yeah, it's usually one of those two.
Are you a coffee guy pre-game as well? I know a lot of guys are. Yeah.
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that aren't really. I think
You kinda
majority.
have to.
Yeah, I think majority are. Just try a natural way to spike your heart rate.
Perfect. One more food-related one before we wrap things up. But Steve is wondering, what's better in your mind, ramen noodles or Kraft dinner?
Ooh.
You are Canadian, so think about that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'd probably have to go Kraft just because I ate it more.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure. I feel like they're on it's a good question. I feel like they're on a kind of a bit of a level playing field.
Yeah,
but
staples.
yeah, the mac and cheese when I was younger was probably a go-to of mine. So
Nice.
let's do it.
All right, and then last one for you, and we got a ton of fans wondering this one. What has maybe been your favorite part of being a Calgary Flame, living in Calgary? So it's sort of a two-part question, but also, what do you like to get up to on and off day in Calgary?
Yeah. I mean, luckily there's a lot of great restaurants in Calgary and so many great people that, hook us up. And, I always like to go to a nice meal with some friends or my wife and, just kind of blow off some steam. So that's usually, if I'm up to something, I'm usually going to a nice restaurant and grabbing a nice piece of meat and enjoying the evening.
I love it. Naz, thank you so much for your time.
All right,
That's
man.
the first bit of
Anytime.
rapid fire. We got a little bit
No
more tonight with the
problem.
skills comp. Let's
I'm
do
ready.
it.